Hello and welcome to this episode of Thai Food. Today we're going to do my version of Rice Krispie treats. I'm Ty, this is my co-host Shiloh, and we're going to get started here. I'm going to plug in my electric skillet, and I'm going to put this on simmer. While I'm doing that, Shiloh's going to grease up our pan here that we're going to put the Rice Krispies in so that they don't stick on us. Go ahead and get my butter in here. We're doing a half a stick of butter. And got that right into the pan here. Get that melting. And I've got 10 ounces of mini marshmallows. You can get these in a bag right at the local store. They come perfectly measured out in 10 ounces. So, and we've got our extracts here. And we're going to do kind of a cherry vanilla type Rice Krispie treat here. Can you get right in there a little better, kiddo? No, not over here. We're going to put this over the sink so we don't make a mess.
I did.
Yeah, probably went all over the wall now. Gotta try to hold it like this, kiddo. You want to make sure this is greased rather good, but not so much that it's running all around on you, because you really don't want this to stick to it. You want to be able to get it back out. We got our butter melting here. Turn that back up again. And we got some potato chips here that we're going to crunch up and add into these, because the saltiness of the potato chip plays really well with the sweetness of the marshmallow and the extracts that we're adding to this. And you'll get a nice sweet and salty thing going on. Plus the crunch of the potato chips helps add to the crunch of the Rice Krispies. So it makes it really decadent, so to speak. Kind of like a salted caramel, you know. Alright, my butter is melted enough. I'm going to add in the marshmallows now. And get these melting. And you want to make sure when you do this, you definitely want to make sure you have a non-stick skillet. Or you can do a double boiler that's non-stick as well. That might work pretty good as well. That way there, you're less likely to have the marshmallows stick to the pan. You getting them crunched up really good, kiddo? See if you can get them a little better. If you need to, kind of like flatten it out. And another thing you could do with these is if you got a rolling pin, you could roll over the bag, or do what I'm doing and let the kid crunch them up. They like crunching things up. It's almost like bubble wrap for them. Getting our marshmallows melted down pretty good here. You want to make sure they're nice and thoroughly melted, but you don't want to overheat it because the mixture can burn too. So you got to be really attentive to this. So if you're doing this by yourself, you might want to crunch up the potato chips and have everything measured out ready to go beforehand. Make your life a lot easier when you get to this point here. And at this point we're doing pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to measure out our extracts here. Yep, that looks good, kiddo. How's the other bag look? We're going to add 1 teaspoon of a really good quality vanilla.
Looks like pretty much the same as the other one.
Okay. So add a teaspoon of vanilla in there. And then we're going to do half a teaspoon of the almond extract, because we just want a little background flavor from the almond. We don't want it to take a front seat. There we go. I'll go ahead and get this mixed in while it's still melting here. I can already smell the vanilla and the almond melding together here. It's a wonderful smell. Need a little more heat here. Try not to dial it up too quick, too much, because I'm afraid I'll scorch my marshmallows. And if it does stick a little bit to the pan, don't worry, it's not the end of the world if you get a sticky mess in your pan. As long as you get most of it out and incorporate it into here, you'll be all right. the only reason I say not to worry is because even if it's not a non-stick pan, hot water will dissolve the marshmallow and it'll come right off and easy cleanup. It's not a huge deal, not by any means. I had to turn mine down a little bit because I can already see where the heating element is because there's a little bit trying to stick there on me. So I just turned my temperature back down a little bit. Like I said, you want to be attentive to this because if you burn it, then you got to start all over. You can't recover from burnt. Golden brown, you can still recover because then you just call it toasted marshmallow treats. Because essentially you just toasted the marshmallows on there. How'd you make out? Not quite enough? Alright, that's why we got the other bag, kiddo. You always want to have a clean countertop in case you drop something on it. Then it's still usable. That's why you'll see in some of my other videos something falls on the counter. I'm not too worried about it because I've already cleaned and disinfected it. Or I should say my wife did that for me in this case. I didn't get to it before she did.
Only a little bit left.
Okay. We got some chip dip I can mix that with and eat with a spoon. Alright, we got our marshmallows nicely melted here. And in here we got 3 cups of the Rice Krispies and 3 cups of the crunched up potato chips. And we're going to add that right into here and get this mixing. I'm going to cut my heat totally off at this point. Don't need any more heat added to this. The marshmallows melted enough. The only way I'd have to worry about turning the heat back on is if the marshmallow sticks to the pan while I'm trying to mix as I pour some overboard here. That's the only hard part, is getting it mixed before it sets up on you. That's the term I'm looking for. There we are. Gonna grab this little bit that fell and go back in with it because, like I said, the counter's clean. There's no reason why we can't. Now, if it hits the floor, it's the cat's as far as I'm concerned at that point. Not that the cats would eat it. I'd end up sweeping it up or something, or my wife would. Whoever got to it first. She's closer to the broom at this point, though. Alright, it's looking pretty good here. Looks like I got a nice good coating on everything. Now, if you want to crunch up more potato chips at this point, yeah, go ahead and unplug it, kiddo. You could do that, have some like potato chip dust, and then after you coated the pan here, you could sprinkle the potato chip dust in there, and then pile this on top of that, and that would help you even more with getting it to be non-stick. And you'd have a nice potato chip salty crust on it as well. Just trying to scrape out the best I can here. It did start to stick a little bit inside, but it's not a huge deal, like I said. A little hot water and then it'll come out. I'm going to go ahead and get this flattened down in here. And you don't have to make it look beautifully level or anything like that, because it's just for you. If I was going to, give this to somebody as a present, I might spend a little more time making it look beautiful, flattening it out and everything. But, I'm a cook. I'm not a chef. I have no formal training. I mean, this is something anybody can do, really. Just about anybody should be able to cook, in my opinion. But there are some people that were never taught at a young age. This is why I'm trying to teach him at a young age. He's doing really good as far as I'm concerned. But there we are. I've got this flattened in here to my liking. And if you wanted to come back and do a chocolate drizzle on this, by all means you could. For that, I would just do, I believe, 2 tablespoons for half a cup of chocolate chips. Pop it in the microwave, let it go for about 30 seconds, give it a stir with a whisk or knife or whatever. If you still got little chunks of chocolate in there, let it go for about another 15 seconds and give it a whisk. It should be nice and fluid and smooth at that point. And you could put it into a Ziploc bag and cut the tip off and drizzle it over, or you could dump it on there and smooth it out the best you want with your spatula. Totally your choice. It would add a nice chocolate element to this as well. But I'm going to leave these plain just like this because I've made it that way before and it got a little too much with the chocolate. But with this, that's what you're looking for. Let this sit for about 30 minutes. 30 to 45 minutes, let it sit overnight if you got the time. And then you can get your squares out of it, no problem. Have a good one. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Thai Food. Obviously on YouTube, you found it if you're watching this. And I've got the Facebook group page going, Thai Food. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. Tune in, follow me. Have a good one.
And wait, and also if you hit the subscribe button, there's also a little bell that you can click so you can keep us notified.
Have a good one.